So tonight I am out for my creativity walk, and I got my mic, so I hope it is um, recording the audio. So yeah, when I don't know what I'm going to talk about because I'm coming off the top of my head, it's time for a walk. And I figure things will come up as I'm walking. Meanwhile, I can tell you about my day. Had an awesome day today. What did I do? I just went for another walk, did some writing, some reading, had some meetings, which were pretty cool stuff. A lot of wisdom I was reading about. A friend of mine gifted me this book by, I think the author name is James Crew or James Cruz. It's a poetry book. And in the poetry book, he has the poems. He gives his commentary about, the different anthology of poems, all giving like little insight and messages about transcendence and the value of like harmony and the value of a moment. Amidst so much chaos and things like that. And it's such a beautiful book because in this one poem I was reading, it was highlighting the value of stillness and like having those moments when you can close your eyes and just be to yourself and allow the world to fall away. And somehow, when you have enough moments like that, you get some clarity. Can you see the sky? No, you can see the moon, but it's pretty much darkness. Yeah, so, and check this out. That's cool, right? So yeah, that was one beautiful insight that I'm always reading and talking about this value of stillness and transcendence, just because it's the first love for me. Man, I'm gonna need a light walking this way. Okay, well, I'll be at the top of the hill soon enough. Or maybe I'll go down towards Ribadaji. It's one of the main streets down here. Yeah, so I've been meeting some cool people, figuring out how to like schedule things and not overschedule myself or overextend myself, because I'm here for a very specific reason, which is to kind of lean into, my creative self-expression and enjoying life and all that jazz. Check out this little trolley thing. Can you see that? Going by? We'll get a better view of it soon. Yeah, so right now my intention with these videos is just to be consistent. So if I can drop some gold nugget or something of value while I'm doing that, I'm good. Right now I really can't think of a gold nugget or something of value. Here, this trolley thing coming again. I think it's called a fulcrum or fulcrum or something like that. So yeah, I'm gonna head down the hill. Such a steep hill. All right, let's see. So we're 4 minutes in. What else can I speak about? I always ask this question, like, what's real for me to say? Oh yeah, well, I was talking about the other day, sort of this idea that, is it okay to enjoy life? Of course we all know it's okay to enjoy life, but sometimes you get so used to like the go and solving problems, and that there always being an issue to solve, that when there's moments of consistent happiness and joy, somehow I almost feel like, something wrong. Or is the other shoe going to drop? Or am I missing something? And I realized, like, no, this is just what it feels like to, like, not have a lot on your shoulders. Not be, like, burdened with so much craziness from day to day to think about and be working through. And I get, like, you know, for so many people, that's a privileged place to come from because so much is going on in the world, and maybe people don't have access or the capacity to make certain choices to kind of let the load come off their shoulders a bit. But I'm really grateful that I'm in a state, in a place right now where I can just lean into that, even if it's just for a season, you know? So it's okay to be okay. It's okay to be happy and enjoying life, you know? I remember this quote that they used to say at my school that Maharshi would say to some of the veterans of transcendental meditation, that life is here to be enjoyed. It's like one of our number one responsibilities, to enjoy life. Otherwise, what are we here for? What are we doing? And I get like there always will be something in the relative to work through and work on. But part of the joy of being in this life is while we're working on those issues and problems in this relative field, that we also find time and find a way to enjoy ourselves. You know, I hope this thing's off, the audio's recording. Not because I'm necessarily saying something so incredibly profound, just because I don't want to do it all over again. Okay, so I made it to the bottom of the hill. And this is one of the famous streets down here. It's called Libadaji. It's where all of like the name brand stores and all that kind of stuff is. What is today? Friday? Probably be people out and about here somewhere. Let's see, which way should we walk? We can go up towards the park, or we can go down towards the river. I'm not walking down to the river because it's a little far right now. But across here. It's so nice to just walk out and like enjoy the fresh air and the peacefulness. It's so chill. This is such a chill space. What else can we talk about? Oh, Teamworks. So I'm a part of this group on WhatsApp that my friend started, and it's all about like AI tools, and they're probably going to be talking about branding and all these kind of things. And I really appreciate how, like, you know, one person, you can be up to something alone and building something, and then somehow nature will have it and plan it that there's a group of people that you respect and enjoy that are doing the exact same thing. I heard this thing one time that said that, like, if your awareness is open enough and if you're clear enough, you always have the exact people, places, or things that you need at your hand's grasp all the time. I don't know if that's always true, right? But it's definitely an empowered place to come from when living life. Like, let me stop, let me pause, let me lean into that stillness and look around and see what resources do I really have around me that will help me or add some effortlessness or some frictionlessness flow somehow to what I'm building and what I'm creating. Like, what's around me? What can I utilize? And then to whom can I contribute to? in a way that like is mutually beneficial. I just listened to this lady's YouTube video a little while ago, and she was talking about how one of Maharshi's principles or points about how our thoughts shape our reality, and how like our thoughts, feelings, and emotions can allow us to extract so much more of the gold and joy from our life, from the environment, from everywhere. And that like oftentimes, because we've been through so many things, that the trauma and conditioning can color our life in such a way that it breeds more trauma and more pain. But if we can like find a way to transcend some of that trauma, some of that pain, we can digest it in a way that does not allow it to continually reproduce after its own kind in our life. You know? And I was thinking like, what's the relationship between actually doing that, actually integrating, digesting that trauma so that you can like lean into creating something better for your life, right? And sort of just, what's the word? Mood making, right? Because I think, you know, one is actually a process that you're going through where you're looking at the trauma, you're digesting it, or somehow transcending it. Maybe you have a technique like transcendental meditation or whatever your thing is to digest that trauma and then like move on in a way that, you know, allows your life to be enjoyable. But the other thing is mood making, right? Like you hear people say fake it till you make it, or these things where like you have to believe something is in order for it to be. All these kind of things where it's like you're like a positive thinking thing where you're having your mind believe something that might not actually be the real situation as it is in the moment. So I think about that relationship between an actual system or tools that allow you to really digest those things that do not serve you and leverage the experience for something higher, or just, you know, walking into delusion. Like, and what's the deciding factor? I guess each one of us have to figure that out for ourselves. It's probably a very subjective thing. But I imagine that once you first start learning these things about like, you know, these sort of new age concepts that are really very ancient concepts, it could be easy to slip into delusion, spiritual bypassing, sort of a make-believe kind of life. Thank you. You know? Without addressing the real situations, without calling a thing, without being able to really acknowledge what's the messed up things that are happening in your life or in society. I don't think that like it should be a thing where, you know, I have to put my head in the sand in order to enjoy my life. I should be able to look at the horrors and the different pains and things that's going on, digest it appropriately, see if I can be of some sort of service to any of it, you know, to help my life or someone else's life, you know, and keep it moving. It shouldn't be head in the sand, acting like a thing is not there, acting like people are not suffering. Somehow my constitution has to be strong enough to be able to witness and look at the suffering, but still figure out how to like cut out some joy in my own life. All right, well, we're coming up on 15 minutes. I hope something in here was of value to somebody, and have a blessed night.